What should be the easiest thing is actually the hardest thing for the human mind, and that is to switch off. So whilst in Ibiza, we wanted to show you one of our favourite and one of the most effective meditation techniques we've ever tried.
Gong meditation is basically when you meditate with sound waves. And gong meditation with planet gongs is one of the most modern forms of sound therapy. Planet gongs are invented by Jens Züger. He had the idea to tune symphonic gongs to planetary frequencies. So in other words, how long a planet needs around the Sun, this orbital time, gets translated into a sound. The effects are quite holistic. They are on physical level, mental level, spiritual level. The gongs affect quite individual. Basically, they are good for calming down or for people who have pain. The nerves are getting also like vibrated, they shake. And so they forget the pain information. That's how I visualize that. And I actually have that sort of feedback also, that people tell me, well, I was at one gong meditation and for a few days I couldn't feel my usual back pain. It's a responsibility to play for 20 people who expect or hope for healing, maybe.
Iris, who has suffered with multiple sclerosis, has been using gong meditation as part of her healing.
Sometimes I really feel some blockages in my body, some different chakras are blocked, and after the gong meditation I really feel that the whole energy flow through the body again, and I feel very light and relaxed, and this helps everybody, and especially multiple sclerosis, because the immune system is every time very active, and this therapy, I call it therapy, gong meditation, bring the immune system, nervous system in balance, and this is especially for the multiple sclerosis patients very, very important. Before I took 20 pills and now nothing anymore. I went back to the natural medicine. Nature is our best healer.
I've done gong meditation before and it's always been quite effective for me personally, but this is something that I've never felt before. I completely went somewhere else instantaneously, and I think that's got something to do with the type of gongs that was used today. And I personally saw a lot of colours, and I know now that those colours are connected to my chakras, so there were definitely some chakras that may have been blocked that I feel were awakened through the session. I'd like to say that that's done something quite powerful for me, and it's been really healing. So would I recommend it to anyone? Absolutely.
2 years ago I got the call my dad fell into a coma, went into the room where he was in a coma, brought out my hang drum and probably played it for 40 hours without stopping, but gently. The hang drum is the gong. It's not an obtrusive instrument like a drum. A drum would scare a baby. A hang drum or a gong would send the baby asleep. I put that instrument on his poor body, and after, I can't remember how long, 2 or 3 days, he was squeezing my hand. What I have noticed is when I've played for big groups of Orange Mobile bestsellers or something, where I do something, there will always be one man amongst the group who's a little bit, oh, what's that thing, a frying pan, and I watch them, and then I play, and I ask them to close their eyes just for the beginning, and that man always cries, always.
Overlooking Ibiza town is Del Villa, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that takes you back through 2,500 years of Ibiza's history. And in the 16th century, they built churches, towers, and huge walls to defend themselves from pirates. And after a long day of walking around, we checked into the nearby Gabi Hotel for some downtime. Eating fresh from the land is how our ancestors used to live, and in Ibiza, this way of living is still part of everyday life. So we decided to invite some friends for a special lunch prepared by our very own personal chef. So Saba, I know that agro-tourism, that's the right word, yes?
Yes.
It's a big thing in Ibiza, and this place, Can Marti, is known as an agro-tourism hotel or finca villa?
Yes.
So what exactly is that?
So agro-tourism is basically a hotel or somewhere you stay which has to have farmland on it.
Is everything that you need for your cooking basically here? What grows in this land here?
So we just put tomatoes in. We've also got some kale growing, which I've made a salad out of. There's mint. There's fruit, there's loads of strawberries right now. The only thing is the way that the garden is planned. So this is a biodynamic kind of permaculture farm. So the way that it's done is that there's plants planted next to each other so to protect the other plants. So basically it's kind of like called companion planting. So it's to stop the use of pesticides, fertilizers, so none of that is used here, it's all natural, and they're grown next to each other so that if one plant depletes the soil a little bit of nutrients, another plant will then enrich it.
So they're like best friends?
Yeah.
That's amazing, I never knew that.
It's basically working with nature.
But I love the story about why you became this kind of chef. Tell everybody exactly what happened and how this kind of food healed your body.
So I was diagnosed with liver damage after being on the contraceptive pill, and that kind of changed my view at looking at modern medicine. And so after that, I met this shaman, this Maya medicine shaman, and he took me on a journey for a year of cleansing my body, doing liver cleanses, and to prepare for the liver cleanses, I had to change my diet to a plant-based diet. Just to remove any toxins out of my body and get my body ready for the cleanse. That then actually inspired me to be in the kitchen more because I wanted to make sure the food I was eating tasted good. And then it just kind of became an obsession. I was going to farmers market, also again figuring out what food was in season at the time, eating organic produce because wanting to remove any toxins in my body. So if you're having foods that aren't organic, then all the pesticides and everything go in your body, and that just puts strain on your liver as well.
But how do you feel in yourself now? How is your liver? How is your health? And how long did it take you for your liver to recuperate from that?
Well, within 2 months, I started to feel myself again. Totally.
And then I just want to ask you one more thing. Why are you living in Ibiza? What is it that called you here?
Wow. I'm living in Ibiza because I came here about 7 years ago with a lot of resistance. I was like, of all the places I could go, I really don't really want to go to Ibiza. Why I could go anywhere else? But my sister-in-law at the time, she insisted, and she'd been coming for years, and she said, trust me, I don't really like partying. I'll take you somewhere really good.
Yeah, there's a whole other side to the side.
Yeah. When I went back to London, it really changed
my perspective on life, and I realized I didn't want to continue living in London in the rat race and just going on the tube and commuting every day, and just kind of like, I was at Victoria Station one day and at rush hour, and there's like all these people, you know, crossing through, and I just zoomed out, and I
get it.
And I was like, no, I don't want to be one of these ants going across. I know there's just something about this island, like,
I heard that either
draws me in.
Yeah, because people said to me
magnetic.
before I came here, they said it's either going to invite you or reject you. So it's obviously invited you.
Yes, it hasn't spat me out yet.